Hello, my name is Jefferson Surfpot, and this is the video for the ePortfolio. So on the About Me page, I just have some pictures of me, and then below there's a description of just some stuff about me, like what I'm majoring in, my background, what I plan to do following graduation. And then under that is a leadership role I've had for the past 4 years. I've been an assistant wrestling coach, and I talk about that for a little bit, and then I get into my hobbies, which include just traveling and eating, and I give a little short description about that. And then at the very bottom of the page is my most recent resume. So next page is the business skills and knowledge. And for wrestling, I had to be a wrestling coach, I had to have these specific certifications in these areas, and I felt that these were good artifacts for business skills, and I went on and talked about that at the bottom. And then on the next page is professionalism, and I included my name badge that I have for wrestling, and then also a leadership interview analysis assignment I had to complete for HSMT 3201 Healthcare Leadership and Ethics, that course. I felt like these were appropriate because, for one, I had to have this badge at all times when walking into any high school within the county, and I talked about that some in the bottom description. And I included the interview assignment because I felt that having to talk with another professional, I had to be professional myself, and I was very nervous about that going into the interview. But what I realized afterwards is that I've been practicing professionalism for a little while since being an assistant wrestling coach. So on the next page is leadership, and I'll talk a little bit more about wrestling just because the past 4 years I personally feel that being a coach has impacted me greatly, and I'll talk about that some in the description. And then I also included my healthcare leadership statement, also from HSMT 3201. That paper, it talks a lot about my core values as a leader, and even in the description I talk a little bit about how I found the leadership style I have and the way I am just through being an assistant coach. And then the next page is communication. I included an email conversation from a few years ago with a healthcare professional who works at Wake Forest. She's an ophthalmologist. And I included this conversation because even since, I think this is from sophomore year, and since then I feel like I've learned a lot of things about writing and speaking professionally. And just reading this conversation from a few years ago, I really don't think I would really change that much, just a couple things, but nothing major. And I felt like this was a good artifacts to include for professional communication. Then for knowledge of the healthcare environment, the last page before the reflective analysis, I included a writing assignment from the Capstone class that talks about if I favor the Medicare for All system and why I support it. And at the time it was February, so we had different Democratic candidates, and I had to talk about which plan I preferred. I went with Pete Buttigieg, even though he's no longer in the race. And then I also included some review notes from healthcare law and policy because I learned a ton from that class. I really didn't know much about the justice system prior to that, and just about the more businessy law policy stuff of a hospital itself. And I felt these two were good artifacts to include. And then last page is just the reflective analysis, and I talk about my time at Charlotte and reflecting over the years.